Hey B-siders, thanks so much for joining me for this solo episode. On today's episode, I'm gonna talk about a song that is a German song, and I first heard it when I was 5 years old, and it's called Über sieben, Brücken, mußt geh'n, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that in today's episode. So the song that inspired today's episode is a German song, and I've not really covered or talked about a German song during all those 80 plus episodes that I've had my podcast. And I do think it's about time I do, because there's so many beautiful German songs out there, beautiful lyrics and wonderful meaning. So this one is the first one of hopefully many more to come. The song that I'm talking about is a German song from the late 70s, 1978, if I remember this correctly, and it has never lost its meaning, I don't think. The song's called Über sieben Brücken mußt geh'n, which translate into English somewhat as in you have to cross 7 bridges. Now, most people know this song by a German singer called Peter Maffay, but did you know that it was actually written and performed by a band called Karat, which is an East Berlin based rock band. And as I said, the song was written and performed and whatever else in 1978. And I believe, from what I understand and the research I've done, is Peter Maffay heard the song and he really loved it. He met the band and he asked for their permission if he was able to record his own version of this song, which they agreed. I could go into the whole East-West Berlin stuff, or East-West in the 70s and 80s, but I won't do that right now. But obviously it wasn't very easy for Karat to get this song, listened to and performed, especially to a wider audience, because of the way East and West was at that point in time. A bit more political stuff going on there. But what I can tell you about this song is that it carries a message about the challenges and also the transformative power of perseverance in life. And again, it kind of talks about the struggles and all the uncertainties that we do have in life, because there's a lot of them around there, right? And if you're a German speaker, or you've lived in like Germany or Austria or any of the German speaking countries, you're probably familiar with that song. It will be played very often at sort of, 80s, 90s parties, or if you grew up in that time, you will definitely have heard of it. And one thing I find out while researching for this episode is as well that apparently it's been recorded in an English version by a singer called Krista Berg, which, if you know Lady in Red, that's the guy apparently that's recorded it. I've not checked it out yet, so I might have to do that afterwards. But yeah, that's sort of a bit of a fun fact at the end. So that's a little bit more about the song that I've sort of used a little bit as a theme song for this solo episode. Now, going into why I've picked this song and what does it mean to me, and I've got to step back in time a little bit, because I was 5 years old when this song was released by Peter Maffay, and I remember it well. I do remember a lot of songs from that time because the radio was always on in our house. My dad worked from home. He was like a, what do you call it, like a janitor type of thing, like a maintenance guy for a big estate where we lived in, and he came home on and off, obviously take phone calls, make phone calls, in and out. So the radio was always on. And that was one of the songs that was very popular because it was released in 1980. I wasn't going to school back then. I think I was just about to start in kindergarten, about 6, if I'm not wrong about that. Anyway, and I always remember that song, always. It just always had this kind of, the way Peter Maffay sang it always was very powerful. And whilst I was able to understand the lyrics, because it's obviously my mother tongue, I didn't understand them completely. And by that, I mean the meaning behind the words, what the song tried to convey. I didn't quite get that until I was much, much older. But I always liked it. Plus, he had a saxophone thing in the middle, which was pretty cool. I always liked that too. Now, walking through life, this song came back to me on and off. You sort of go to these 80s parties, 90s parties, and we had quite a bit of that when I was growing up, and I was in my sort of late teens, early 20s. It's just also a singer that I've seen live several times. So I've heard that particular song live as well, which was always great. He was a great performer too. But I've picked that song because there are certain meanings that I can apply to my current life. And I'm hoping by sharing this song, if you want to go and check it out, it might helps you a little bit too to deal with whatever's going on in your life. Now, the overall lyrics of the song are pretty reflective. It's in the I always imagine this person is just walking at night, and there's obviously bridges coming up that they have to cross. And the lyrics talk about, sometimes you want to be a kid again because you miss the innocence and the simplicity of life. Sometimes you want to take on the world and you know you're strong and you can do it all. It's sort of all these polar opposites of life, all these cycles, all these waves that we rise when we go through life. And I guess the older we get, the more we realize that life is an endless loop. It's an endless circle, an endless wave that we surf on or try to, walk on the path that we walk. And I love these seven bridges they talk about. I mean, the chorus is basically every seven bridges you have to walk, and seven times you're going to be like the ashes on the floor, but then there will always be that one time where you're going to soar and you're going to see the light. And I do love that. I do love this imaginary thing of, we go through tough times, but no matter what happens, we still keep going on with life. And even on days when everything seems dark and bleak and, just not bearable at times, there might still be something that can help us feel the lightness, the positivity in life. And there will always be a light at the end of the tunnel, always. And to never give up, because that's how life is. And trust me, guys, I can so relate to this song. And it literally came to me one night when I went to bed. It happens to me a lot. If you listen to my episodes, that lots of this stuff comes to me at night when I'm trying to sleep. But music has other plans for me, obviously. And I just felt it was very fitting. You might feel like you're going through days, weeks, months, even years of tough times. But we need to remember that there's also some good stuff, some stuff that makes us laugh, some people that help us out. Nature is always amazing. And I find songs like this are always a good reminder that we'll get through it somehow. Somehow we'll do. It might not feel like it, but we will. So Peter Maffay in general, he wrote really beautiful songs, or performed beautiful songs, or had songs written for him that, sometimes they're just for entertainment purposes, but others are really have a good meaning behind the lyrics. And this one is definitely one of them. So I would love for you to go and check it out. And you might have to put on the English translation if you're not familiar with German. So what would I love for you guys to take away from this episode, from this song, from what I've been just sharing with you? And I've not been going too much into my own private stuff. I just wanted to really focus on this song because the core message I found is really important for so many of us right now. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't feel like life is always so cruel. Trust me, guys, it can feel like this. And some days it might really be hard, but then there will always be good times, good moments. And, let's celebrate those a bit more. And let's look for the brightness, for the sparkle in our lives. And I guess the biggest takeaway for you guys that I would love for you and myself to remember, none of these cycles, these phases in our life, they last forever. So when we go through tough times, knows that there should be better times coming. And when we have good times, well, cherish those, enjoy them, because there will be moments or phases where it might not be so good, and we just have to move through those. Let me know what your takeaways are if you ever get to listen to these songs. This song, not songs, well, there's a few of his, so if you want to check out more, that's fine by me. And otherwise, yeah, please share my podcast with your friends, family, anyone who you think might enjoy a bit of a different take on music, songs, and personal stories about life, and how the power of music can certainly help us get through every day, if it's good or bad, to celebrate, to mourn, whatever it is. All right, you, my B-siders, take good care. And as always, I'm sending you much music and love. Until the next time, take care. Bye.